me change this up real quick. Monitor 2, we're going to go. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to talk more about the potential, what you see behind me here, some snow across the area. One thing, we're going to go through this model after we go through some of the other models. The reason I'm kind of hanging my hat on this model more is it's really done a bang-up job with the last few winter storms we have had, and it's trending south with the chance of snow instead of trending back to the north. We're going to get into this here in just a second. I want to show you what we've got going on, though, as far as the weather goes. Right now, it certainly doesn't seem like we're going to see some snow, but we've got this winter weather advisory that's been issued this morning from the Huntsville National Weather Service office, and it covers the entire area. And what we're going to see up here to the north is that winter storm warning. That's where they're more likely to see, we're talking about probably 2 to 4, maybe 5 inches of snow within that area there. And the one limiting factor here, there's actually two. One's the amount of moisture coming our way, and the other one's just how cold is it going to get. There's going to be a transition zone here. We're going to call this light dusting and a sleet mix going on here. And the challenge here is that we've got an area that is warmer just on the southern fringes of the viewing area. And what we're going to see here is the possibility that we're going to see just a little bit of sleet mixing in and some rain. So it's these areas we're tracking down here where there's actually going to be, the warmer air is going to be lifting to the north as this wave kind of passes through. But we're pretty confident about this potential for 2 inches, especially over the northwest corner of the state. I think we're going to start with some travel issues out there. And it's all going to start falling. We're going to go through this hour by hour, but it's all going to start falling the heaviest between 3 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the morning. And that is right at the height of the morning rush hour. So we do anticipate some issues out there. However, the less traffic that's out there, the better. I think if you're out early in the morning, you take it slow, you'll be fine. There's some school systems delaying right now, so we'll probably see more and more of that. But as far as where the storm system is now, it's way out here in the Central Plains. They're getting hit hard with heavy snow up here from areas south of Kansas City to Springfield, Missouri, and even the Ozarks. See, what's happening here is you got Lake of the Ozarks, you've got Bull Shoals Lake, you've got Lake Taneycomo, you've got a lot of lakes here as you get down into Arkansas as well. And there's boat docks that just can't support this kind of weight. So if they get 10 inches of snow, you're going to start seeing video and pictures on the news and on social media of some of these boat docks sinking up there. I've seen it happen a lot, especially in the Lake of the Ozarks area when they've had real heavy snow. We actually see that around here sometimes as well. But right now, we're not anticipating anything like that. But that's where the heavy snow is now. Let's take a look at after midnight tonight. Now, the winter weather advisory goes into effect at 9 o'clock tonight. I think that's the very earliest we're going to see it. I think it's going to be hard initially to get some of this snow falling due to the dry layer of air. One other thing you're going to see is a little bit of this pink, and that's that sleet mix. And the reason I'm going to show you another model here coming up in a few minutes is I want to kind of show you the comparison here between both of the models. What we've got here, this is the graph model. We use this a lot, especially when the events get closer. But you notice around 3 o'clock in the morning, everyone's pretty much covered with snow, but the temperature's right at or just below freezing. I think due to the sunshine we've had today, I think the roads may actually be in good shape in some areas, but where we get more snow, as I was mentioning earlier, watching this corner up here in the northwest corner of the state, this area is likely the most impacted with the possibility of travel interruption here as far as the roads go. The bridges and overpasses are going to freeze up first. As we continue on towards 7 o'clock in the morning, I know it's going to be hard to sleep in, especially for kids. They're going to be looking out the window every 10 minutes coming up around 4 o'clock in the morning. But we see temperatures dropping a bit more back here from Florence up to Pulaski and over to Fayetteville. And eventually the snow is gone, but the temperatures are going to be cold. And the roads, they may dry out a bit, but if we get this heavier snow out there, we're still going to be dealing with some other issues out there. So what I'm going to do before I show you the BAMS model, which is actually from Barron Services here in Huntsville, Alabama, we're going to show you a quick break, and then we're going to get back and we're going to talk more on these snowfall totals. All right, everybody, we are back. And again, in case you're just joining us after that break, we're talking about this winter weather event. It's going to be minor impact, I think. I don't think you're going to be shut in your house for several days. But before we went to break, we were talking about the snowfall potential on these snowfall totals. And you see behind me, we're going to talk more about this in just a second. In fact, we're going to go through the model that's behind all this. We're going to talk about the sleet area, the rain area. I know some of you, it's just going to be sloppy rain, and then the areas of snow. I still think the highest totals are probably going to be up here around Muscle Shoals, northwest of Russellville, and as you get along Highway 64 in southern middle Tennessee. So let's take a closer look. In fact, I'm going to go forward here on this. We're going to stop that. Again, this is the other model. We're going to compare these. Here's the previous model. Notice it's got the snow moving in around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it really picks up between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock. And not a lot of people on the roads. This will likely accumulate on the roads, especially the bridges and overpasses. So we're going to watch that closely. Again, we're really not going to have a good idea until it starts falling. And again, meteorologist Eric Burke will have the latest beginning at 4:30 tomorrow morning on that, the potential that we're dealing with here. Now what I want to do is show you the sleet potential here. Now there is a possibility of sleet. This doesn't always show up very well, but you can kind of see down here, Haleyville to Coleman, these areas, it's kind of almost a rusty brown color in this model guidance. So there's that sleet possibility. And sleet can accumulate, so we'll watch that. And then as we take a look at the normal hour-by-hour data here, what we're going to look at, this is, of course, where we are now, 3 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. Here comes the rain and the snow. And the reason I like the BAMS model is it's been very accurate with the last few events. So as we go forward here, notice the area of pink, and that's kind of a wintry mix. So this is going to be a mixture of sleet and snow initially. And once this cools the entire column of air in the atmosphere, that's when it changes over to snow. But that's 2 o'clock in the morning. Notice a very large area. This will be probably around closer to 2:30 in the morning here from Huntsville to Decatur to Moulton. These little arrows, those blue arrows are the wind. It's coming from the north, so they're blue because it's colder air. And that's what we're dealing with, a north wind pushing in the colder air. And we have some heavy snow here in this model, roughly around 3:30 or so from Haleyville to Moulton, the west side of Decatur through Athens and up to Pulaski and Muscle Shoals. So many of you are going to be sleeping through this, although it's a situation, as I mentioned earlier, the kids are probably going to be up all hours of the night, kind of like waiting on Santa Claus. They're waiting on the snow. I've been there myself. And sometimes it's disappointing when you're that kid and you're looking out the window and it's all rain. There may be some disappointment in Coleman and Albertville, Fort Payne and Scottsboro. You see how this warm air is sliding up to the north here. It's just not cold enough for snow. That's at 5 o'clock in the morning. But at 5 a.m., we've got some heavy snowfall from Huntsville to Meridianville up to Winchester near Timms Ford Lake and back to the west towards Russellville. Some of this will initially melt just because the roads are warm today with all the sunshine we've had. But keep in mind, take a look at how narrow this band is as we go and transition from a sleet wintry mix here to all snow. It's along and just south of the Tennessee River where we have this changeover. But as you get just north of there, sometimes you get these bursts of heavier snow. So that's one thing we'll watch out for. As we continue on towards 7 o'clock in the morning, the air starts to warm up a little bit. Notice more rain here, Scottsboro, Albertville, definitely Fort Payne. You would think that these are the areas, since they're the mountainous areas, so to speak, right? A little bit higher in elevation, that they would be more likely to get snow. But that's not going to be the case with this. And as we continue on here, through the morning hours, 9 a.m., it slowly fades away, and that's it. So what we'll be watching for as we go beyond that, we're going to be watching for what are the roads going to be like? That's the big question. So we have some delays out there. It's likely we're going to see conditions improve as we get into the afternoon because we're going to warm up to about 35 or 36. And even though it'll be mostly cloudy, there's still a little bit of sunlight that's going to get through the clouds and help the road conditions out. But then we refreeze overnight as temperatures get way down, right around 16 degrees or so, and that's when we have the problems with that. We have a weather radio programming event I want to bring to your attention. I know we're kind of focused on winter weather, but hey, your weather radio can go off for winter storm warnings and things like that too. But we're going to be out this Friday. We're going to be programming weather radios. We are going to be at the Jones Valley location at the Ace Hardware beginning at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we'll be there till 5 o'clock. So they'll have radios you can buy. They'll have them for sale there, and I believe the price point's right around $30. And you don't have to buy one there. You can bring one in off the street. Whatever you have, you've got one. In fact, somebody brought one in today to be programmed. This is an older weather radio, but again, we're going to be out programming weather radios in Jones Valley at the Ace Hardware. I don't know if we got another break coming up here. If we do, we can roll that break, and when we come back, we'll talk about that 3-day forecast. All right, everybody, welcome back. Let's get right to that 3-day forecast. Temperatures right now around 50 degrees, and that's what's going to help us out through this period of snow. Again, we do expect some issues out there with travel early in the morning. Tomorrow is a 48 first alert weather day, a high of 36, but then the brutal cold sets in. We could have some delays Thursday morning just due to the extreme cold. The high will be right around 30 degrees, but the wind chill will be below zero to start the day. So mighty cold air coming in. We'll keep you up to date coming up at 4, 5, and 6. And then again tonight at 10 on the latest forecast guidance to tell you what to expect as we go through the next 24 hours.